creating false tears in your interview. Maybe you should have slipped the producers a little money under the table if you really wanted to look like you was crying, because they put you on blast, baby. Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host, Pinky, and today we're going to be talking about Love is Blind Season 3, Episodes 1 through 3. So if you'd like to see more, then just stay tuned. Like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this video. So y'all, I have not seen the next 3 episodes yet, so please do not spoil it for me in the comments. I'm just going based off of these 3 episodes that I've seen. Last season was a flop. I mean, literally none of the couples are still together. So I think at this point, we're just watching this show strictly for entertainment. I can't really take any of these shows seriously anymore. I mean, I feel like the more popular they get, the more disingenuous people sign up. And like a lot of people have been saying on Twitter, this show was literally made for Cameron and Lauren to find each other, apparently, since they're the only successful couple to make it. And yes, I remember Barnett and his wife are still together. I said what I said. And really, the whole concept of the show is flawed anyway, because yes, you cannot see the other person, but unless y'all ban people from saying interests that may reveal how you look. So if you tell me you're a bodybuilder, automatically, if I'm attracted to bodybuilders, I'm going to fall right back into that trap. And I thought this was about getting to know people for who they are on the inside and not the outside. So I feel like unless they switch some of this stuff up, we're going to keep on getting superficial matches, and y'all are not going to have any real success stories. How are people really going to step outside of the box if they're just listening for buzzwords of characteristics that they normally go for? So I'm going to start with Alexa and Brennan. I do want to slightly commend Love is Blind for including a plus size beauty. Alexa is gorgeous. I feel like they should include more of a variety of sizes, but like I said, I was happy to see Alexa. Also, she's Jewish and her people are from Israel, so I thought that was cool. She's very family oriented, and she found a connection with Brennan, who Brennan seems like he was so genuine while they were in the pods. I feel like that's why they connected, because both of them really do give me genuine. Both of them can relate on the fact that their parents are divorced. He seems to have had like significant trauma that came from that, though. His parents didn't seem to like each other at all, and he seems to have held a lot of trauma from that. And I wonder, has he really worked through that? But he does seem to really want to be married and actually make it work. Overall, I just loved how smitten he was with Alexa. Like, he cut it off with Colleen. He wasn't even playing no games with Colleen. I know what I want with Alexa. And even when he proposed, it was so beautiful. I usually think the proposals are so cringy on this show. Like, I almost never feel anything from the proposals. But there's, like, you could see that they had a genuine connection. And even when he saw her, I think everybody was holding their breath. You know, with how the media portrays bigger women and how, you know, they're supposed to be less desirable. I love that he fully embraced her, and you know, he didn't bat an eyelash. He just seems fully invested in this woman. And when they saw each other physically, it just was confirmed. And it was just so cute. Now, see, they might suck me in. It's a couple of couples on here that just might suck me in. I don't know. They did it for me. He is laying it on pretty thick, because I feel like, I'm not saying Alexa's not interested in him, but I feel like she is maybe trying to get used to him, or, you know, she's trying to like take it all in or what, but he's fully invested, and she seems to be a little bit like still trying to get adjusted. I don't know. I'm a little concerned, but so far I feel like they're a good match. Let's move on to Cole and Zaynab. Am I saying that right? Because he keeps saying Zaynab or whatever. He keeps saying her name in a different way that I thought her name was pronounced. So when I first saw him, I'm just like, here we go. They always have to have this frat boy, jock, silly, goofy, immature like, why are you here type of dude every single season, and every single season they get matched. I don't know, he was just very superficial to me in the beginning. When he met one of the ladies and she said she was a nurse, he was like, oh, I don't do nurses. I'm like, what? He was just overly picky and like, you know, harping on what if she can't make me laugh, then okay, look, grow up. I guess it is important for people to share the same type of humor, but just the way he was talking about it was just so but what did surprise me is when he was calling Colleen out, which we're going to talk more about Colleen later, but he was calling Colleen out for being shallow. And I was shocked because he gave me shallow, but he actually wanted to go deeper. And she just could not do that. And he actually cut it off with her. And I just couldn't believe that. Because I just wouldn't have saw that coming from him. I thought he would have definitely wanted Colleen. They seemed like they were on the same level emotionally, but I guess not. And so that's when he started connecting more with Zaynab. So the reason why they connected is because she opened up about losing her parents at an early age. She lost her father at 13 and her mother at 18. And my heart went out to her. I mean, I feel like anybody would have sympathy towards someone that lost their parents that early in life. And after that, he opened up about him being married and divorced already, even though he's 5 years younger than her. I believe he's 25. He's been married and divorced, and his marriage only lasted 4 months. And that was kind of a red flag. That was kind of a red flag. I ain't gonna lie. You've been married and divorced already, and your marriage only lasted 4 months. Yeah, that doesn't mean you know, it's not necessarily his fault necessarily, but it does. I am looking at you with a side eye. They ended up hitting it off. He proposed to her. It was a goofy proposal, child. And they ended up meeting each other in person. They seem to really have a physical connection, but y'all, I don't know how this gonna work. I feel like he's too immature for her. I feel like he's goofy and silly, and that's what he showed her already. And I personally felt like she was gonna be over it because he just was like bouncing off the walls. But I think what happens is, I think maybe when he's on camera, he feels the need to perform. And so when the cameras left, he was more calm, and so she felt like he wasn't truly into her because of that. Now, that very well could be the case. You know what I'm saying? He could be doing all this for TV, or he could just be someone that, you know, has his chill moments. And, you know, just because he was chilling that moment, that don't mean he necessarily didn't like her. But I don't know, it's something he did to make her feel that way. I just feel it in my gut. All I know is I just got my eye on him. Y'all let me know what y'all think about him down below. So let's move on to Colleen and Matt. So we meet Colleen. Colleen is a ballet dancer. I do think that is a conversation starter, not gonna lie. You don't meet very many ballet dancers, professional ones, in your everyday life. But Colleen made that her entire personality for every guy she met. And I feel like she was using it as a crutch. I feel like she knew that when guys hear ballet dancers, they think flexible, and it automatically takes them to the bedroom. And I feel like she was trying to use that to get further on this show, and it backfired. So she started off liking Brennan. He got superficial vibes from her, so he let her go, okay? And when he told her that he was done with her, you would have thought that they had been married for 20 years and he was leaving her for the secretary. The way she was clutching her pearls, child. Girl, she was very shocked. She just knew that ballet dance thing was going to win these men over. And then she started focusing on Cole. I think she thought he was just going to be on the same page with her, but he wanted something deeper. She even said out of her own mouth she doesn't like to go deep. And it's like, girl, why are you here? Why are you even here? Like, you just telling everybody you here to be on the show. Like, this show is for people to connect and get married. So if you don't want to get deeper, you need to go on a show like Love Island, or, you know, one of the shows where commitment is not the main. Like, people are getting married on this show. Like, what did you expect? She literally was like, she wants to keep it surface. Girl, do you know where you are? Like, you actually said that out of your mouth to the person you're talking to? So both of these men turned her down. She took it very personally. I think she's very insecure because she took that way personal. And I'm just thinking, well, maybe you should stop leading with your ballet because you're thinking it's giving you a leg up, no pun intended, but it's actually driving the men away. Because even if the men are not genuine on this show, they know how to play the game, and you don't. So she realized she wouldn't make it further if she didn't at least try to fake being deep. So she moved on to Matt. And Matt comes in. He married his high school sweetheart. They were together for 10 years. He married her at 18 and they got divorced at 24. Turned out that she cheated on him and got pregnant, which is like the ultimate betrayal. Like, I don't think it gets much worse than that. He said he ain't talked to her since, and I don't blame him. Like, what is there to say after that? But he said he wants someone that he can connect with and go through the rough times with. And the sad part is I really, really, really do think that Matt is being sincere. I think he really, really likes Colleen. You know, he proposed to her, and when they saw each other, now I ain't gonna lie, they had some serious chemistry when they saw each other in person. And you know, Colleen seems like she's really attracted to him, so maybe she'll really give it a good old college try. I just don't think she has it in her to go deep. She said it herself. So I don't see them working in the long run. And I just really, really feel bad for Matt, because I feel like he is all in. And he's walking on sunshine. He has stars in his eyes, rose-colored glasses, and I don't think he's going to really see Colleen for who she is until it's too late. And I hate that for him. The last few people are kind of intertwined with one another. So I'm just going to move on to Raven and SK. So when Raven first started this process, she was connecting with Bartiz. They both had working out in common. She teaches Pilates. That's what she does for a living. And, you know, she heard that he does bodybuilding. So that automatically clicked in her mind like, oh, yeah, he's my type. Because physically, clearly, that's what she likes. And she was being, to me, she was being superficial from the jump. One of the craziest scenes for me between her and Bartiz, she like stop everything. I have something to tell you. I'm so nervous to tell you. You know, and she really like made a huge deal. Like, I'm just so nervous. It's been a problem for me in the past. And blah, blah, blah. And Bartiz was like, well, are you a dancer? Like a stripper? And she's like, oh, no. Oh, no, not a stripper. He was like, well, what is it? She was like, oh, I'm a bartender. I'm a bottle girl. What was that about? Like, I'm sorry. Raven is a legend in her own mind. Raven is about Raven, period. She said that she had a rich older boyfriend in the past, and, you know, he used to, I guess, shower her with gifts, and she still has some of them, and she wondered if he had a problem with that. He was like, no problem. But Bartiz, you know, like many of the other people on this show, wanted to go deeper. He bared his soul to her about how his mother was a little shady. His mother met his father while she was engaged to someone else. And this was while they were in the Cayman Islands. And I'm guessing years later, after he was born and everything, they went back to the Cayman Islands and they ran into the guy that she was formerly engaged to and left him for his daddy. And that caused a big blow up between her. Like, y'all, I was enthralled in this story, by the way. I was enthralled. Meanwhile, Raven is literally doing jumping jacks. Like, he's literally telling why his parents broke up and, you know, how it affected him. Like, he said he had never told anyone else this. She's jumping up and down doing jumping jacks. He literally called her out about it. And she was like, oh, you could hear me? Like, Raven is about Raven. That's when I knew. I was like, that is so disrespectful. For this man to be telling, and honestly, it was a good, it's not like it was a boring story. It's not like he was just rambling on and on. Like, I was wanting to hear more, but she, like, I was kind of mad at her because, girl, listen so we can hear. So he had to cut her off because clearly she wasn't that into him. She was more into herself than she was him. So that didn't work out. And by the way, when he was trying to let her down easy, I mean, that man was rambling. He was sweating, trying to figure out how he was going to tell her. She was like, oh, she was trying to beat him to the punch. Like, oh, I knew we weren't going to work anyway. It's okay. It's fine. I already knew. I knew this wasn't going to work. I was going to say the same thing. I believe she did that because he said it. I think she was trying to beat him to the punch. I think she was a little bit upset that he was rejecting her. And so that's when she moved on to SK. And I actually really like SK. He's from Nigeria. And, you know, he says, you know, whenever he talks to people, they're very stereotypical with how they, you know, view Africa. People tend to view Africa as like one big country when it actually consists of many different countries, many different types of people, different dialects, tribes, things like that. It's like so much more nuanced than the media would portray. And you know, he said he gets he gets asked all the time, do you have a lion as a pet? But getting back to it, SK, seems like he's very sweet and genuine. When he met up with Raven, he asked her what she thought of him, and she told him she thought he was a square at first, but now she thinks he's well dressed, basically. It's like, what? I mean, what? Didn't say nothing about his personality. Just, oh yeah, you're smart and I think you could dress. You probably wearing a hat right now, right? Am I right? Am I right? Girl, please. He ended up opening up about the fact that he came from a polygamous family. He is one of 17 kids. It seems like he didn't have a good experience with that, because he said it never crossed his mind for him to ever want to be polygamous. So it makes me wonder, like, how was your experience growing up for you to not even have considered it? So clearly, you know, I just want to know the background. I feel like there's more to that story. But he loved the fact that Raven didn't judge him at all for growing up that way, and he appreciates her for that. And he also like told her how special she is to him, and she got emotional, obviously, because whenever we talking about Raven, child, that's when her emotions perk up. He doesn't mind putting her up on a pedestal and like giving her all the praise she feels she deserves. I think she even said, like, in her relationships, the men tend to love her more than she loves them. But girl, that's clearly how you want it, because when you talk to these men, you don't actually try to get to know anything about them. You don't actually try to connect, really. And it makes sense that you choose men that like you more, because you don't actually try to put an effort in. But honestly, when he proposed, I didn't really get the feels from this at all. Did they say love at all? Did they say that? I don't remember them saying I love you. If they did, it didn't hit, you know. When they saw each other in person, I do think she's attracted enough to him, and he was definitely attracted to her. So I do think that point was on point. But if anything, I think their relationship will be very surface. I doubt they last unless they like have like a business type of relationship, which I could see. I could see them staying together. Him like supplying her, I don't know what kind of job he has, but he seemed like he got a little money. I don't know. Him like, you know, supplying her lifestyle, even though she says she don't need a man to take care of her. She seemed like the type to want a man to take care of her. Okay, I don't care what she had to say, but they seem like if they're on the same page with, you know, working together, I could see it lasting in that way. But emotionally, no, because she ain't gonna give him much in return. So finally, let's talk about Bartise and Nancy. So Bartise and his hair. Bartise, we're gonna have to work on this. Like, I know you're trying to do a high top fade. I don't know if you're trying to do the kid and play. I'm gonna need for you to pick it out. I'm gonna need for it to be even. Every time I see it, it's wonky. I don't know if you're trying to do the Gumby. Like, we need to pick one hairstyle and stick to it, because it gives so much at one time, and I don't think that's what you're trying to do. It throws me off every time I look at him, because he's a handsome guy. But the hair, we need to work on the hair, okay? He's 25, but he said he's young, but he's ready, child. They all are. But I ain't gonna lie, Bartise does seem like the type of guy that maybe would be ready. I haven't seen the other episodes yet, so don't spoil it for me in the comments. He is really feeling Nancy. Nancy let us know that she was an egg donor 8 times. And I've heard of sperm donors, but I never thought about egg donors. I don't know why that's never crossed my mind. But she's donated her eggs 8 times. And, you know, with the power of science, I guess, she could have at least 125 kids out there. I think it's unlikely that it would be that many, but definitely she could have some children out there with her DNA. And she left the paperwork open for them to be able to find her when they turned 18. And I found that shocking. I don't quite know how I feel about that, but you know, like I said, men do it every day with sperm banks. So I don't know. Like I do think it's awesome that you can donate your eggs to people that, you know, can't have their own biological children. I do think that's amazing. But wow, just to have somebody with your DNA out there, and then for them to possibly reach out to you later on in life. Wow, that's crazy. Like, that's wild to me. But what's his name? I keep wanting to call him Bartise. It didn't shock him whatsoever. He was a-okay with that. But when he told her his age, she was a little bit shook by that. She was a little bit shook. Bartise ended up professing his love for Nancy at one point. And she was at a crossroads because she also was, you know, having strong feelings for Andrew. And Andrew was a wildlife photographer. He constantly travels, an adrenaline junkie, thrill seeker type of dude, right? I was giving him the side eye from the jump, because if you are that type of man, why are you trying to settle down? If you like to constantly travel, usually when women want to get married, they want to get settled and stay in one spot and have children. So, you know, if you know that, I don't think you should come on a show like this. You should go find a woman that is on the same wavelength as you. So I felt like he was on some other stuff right then and there. You know, he does have a real nice voice, but he was using that to his advantage, getting Nancy all hot and bothered, throwing her off, child. But he was giving fake deep to get in these women's heads. Like, just what the way he was relaying this information, you could tell that's not the first time he said that, and he's used that to his advantage to get many women in bed. That's my opinion. And that was strike 2 for me. Thank God Nancy saw through his fake persona, and she ended up dumping him and going with Bartise, because this guy is a whole psycho. He acted like he was so hurt that she didn't choose him. And, you know, when he was in his little confessional or whatever, he told the producers, like, is it okay if I put eye drops in my eye? He literally put eye drops in his eye, let the drops roll down, and made it seem like he was crying. He did not wipe them away. He let them sit there. He was like, I've never cried over a woman, or something he said. Creating false tears in your interview? That was psychotic. Because you know you on camera, right? And the fact that the producers even kept that in there, child, that was so messy. But I'm so glad they did, because I almost felt bad for him, because I thought he really might have liked Nancy. Maybe you should have slipped the producers a little money under the table if you really wanted to look like you was crying, because they put you on blast, baby. So back to Nancy and Bartise. So obviously Nancy made the right choice choosing Bartise, because Andrew was completely unhinged. We'll see as time goes on. I can't pinpoint it. I don't know just yet with him. But at least he comes off as more sincere. They seem to have good physical chemistry. You know, they really couldn't keep their hands off each other. I wouldn't dare put no money on it, but, you know, possibly. I don't know. But we'll see how this goes on. Y'all make sure y'all let me know what y'all think about these couples down below. Please do not spoil it for me, you guys. I have not watched the next 3 episodes yet. I just wanted to go ahead and get this off my mind while it was still fresh. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.